Hello all, this is Battitz bringing you another RUSE replay on Diplomats. It's a match between myself as the Germans, Psyrinox as the Allies, and R.U.S.E as the Allies, and CocoDaPuf as the Allies. So, as you can see, I'm kind of the odd one out as the Germans. I think I just wanted to play a different faction than I normally do, so I went with the Germans. This match was probably the craziest experience of RUSE I've had, well, ever. So, very interesting. I was getting quite pissed at this game because I was getting my ass handed to me, basically. Nothing I was doing was seeming to work, and I still don't really know a good counter for the air anti-tank strategy that Coco goes for. But somehow I managed to pull the biggest upset that I've seen so far out of my ass. And, yeah, more on that later. Teammate Psyrinox decides to go armor, anti-air, infantry barracks with 2 supply depots, I guess. The whatever guy's name decides to make a secondary right next to his headquarters, which wouldn't really recommend, because the whole point of a secondary is to put it so in case your main headquarters does get blown up, you'll have the second one. So putting it right next to the thing that might get blown up is kind of counterproductive, I guess. And Coco goes with the camoed airfield right off the bat. And makes light bombers and his air recon that I despise. First thing he does, goes and blows up my barracks. Making it a quick 30-0. And when I was watching this replay before, I'm like, oh man, I'd send that replacement barracks out right away, but then turns out to be artillery anti-air. And I was like, oops, definitely forgot to do that. It's one of the main reasons I just hate playing the Germans. Everything costs so much more, it just screws you over in the beginning game. On like 4v4 map, it might be a better faction to go with, but on these quick 2v2s, like where you're gonna have an air rush or something, it's probably not the best faction to go with, unless your opponents are playing really slow. Which Coco's teammate actually seems to do throughout the game, so I don't know. I put out some Kugel wagons before my barracks gets blown up so I can see what's going on about the map. Psyrinox makes a little bit of everything and gets stationed around his base. Speed him up a little. Here, I don't know if Coco is just really cocky or confident or playing around with me, or I don't know what he was thinking, but instead of blowing up my very, I believe, visible headquarters, he just destroys a supply depot instead. So I don't know why he decided to pick the targets he did so early on, because I'm sure he could have easily wiped my headquarters out there with those 4 bombers. So I don't know. And on the left we have the U guy just kind of bunkering down at the moment. Alright. He has the spider just swinging around the map just in case the R.U.S.E build up an airfield. And I find that really hard because I usually go with an armor stratagem, so whenever I'm presented with overwhelming air superiority and I don't have like the American M16, which is like mobile anti-air, I have these shitty flak guns that planes can easily outmaneuver and go around. I find it really hard to just switch switch strategies or building, if you will, and like go for an airfield. But I don't know. That seems like the only counter that I can find to like anti-tank aircraft superiority. Blah. Blah, blah. So he gets out an anti-tank factory that I can't see. I'm not sure if I spot it with my Kuba wagon here. Switch might be real quick to see. Yep, I do indeed see that he makes tank destroyers. So that made my Panzer IVs kind of worthless. So I think I'm like, okay, screw it. I'll go for the guy on the left and try and take his base out. And here my flag gets bombed into oblivion. And so Psyrinox is. So we have no anti-air on this portion of the map. Psyrinox is sending some infantry into this town just to secure his flank and keep this guy at bay, but he does a good job himself just staying put. Not the same story for his ally, Coco. I hate this stupid plane. So I'll speed things up a little bit again. Nothing's happening. Psyrinox decided to just send these around the flank to just keep him occupied because I was in a very bad way. So he sends these armored units around to try and distract Coco, but his bombers still do their thing, and he just sends his tank destroyers to take care of that column. I throw up a quick airfield to try and get fighters, something out to stave off these bombers that are just circling. So I managed to get one fighter out, and then there's my armor base, and then two more come in and bomb my secondary and my airfield. And I send out my fighter, and he barely manages to take out one bomber. That was definitely a setback. So now I'm just down to an artillery anti-air base and my headquarters. And I'm not sure what this was. I don't know if I recall it. Yeah, I recall that. I know I sent out an infantry barracks later, and I forgot that my secondary was no longer there, so it goes all the way through. He just sends in his fighters to take out my lone plane and goes down. Crashes onto the forest. Considering that was like the only kill I've gotten so far. And my offensive went very terribly on the left. Ran into a tank bunker that said, "Oh, very easy target with my two tanks. Go in, try and take those out." I'll lose the tank. Don't kill the bunker at all. So, that didn't go too well.